Chapter 10. Files and Shocks. What's your cell phone number? I asked. 432-6994, Hal answered, confused. Eve, type that in, I commanded. Eve did what she was told, without hesitation. The screen turned a cold, snowy white. Blue letters appeared across the screen once more. Access granted. How did you know? Alice questioned, with some meaningfulness in her voice. In a game, they always give you everything you need. It's up to the player to figure out how to use it, I admitted. Maybe you're more useful than just a test dummy. Probably not, Alice analyzed. I'm just going to pretend that was a compliment, I smirked. I looked at Eve's computer screen with interest. A desktop with an angel with dark black wings filled her screen. Eve moved her mouse over to the documents and double-clicked to open them. At least 10 folders popped up, each with their own name. The one that caught everyone's attention was a single file labeled Players. Eve clicked on it, opening even more documents. Names and dates overwhelmed me with information. The girl tried to open a file labeled as Spy. I guess it's the file on Alex? Red letters appeared. Access denied. What do you mean it's denied? Eve growled with annoyance. Denied my ass. She began to once again type quickly, pulling up several of her own programs and windows. The pink-haired girl stuck out her tongue in concentration as she continued to type. She pressed enter with confidence. Blue shot out of her computer, sending the pink hair from her skull straight into the air. Eve gritted her teeth as her body shook. Eve, I called, stupidly putting my hand on her shoulder. In an instant, my body glowed in the same neon coloring. Pain erupted through my skin as I shook with no control. I tried to move my hand away, but it was no use. I couldn't move at all. Something took hold of my shoulder, throwing me away from Eve. I gasped, looking up at Hal. The glove in his hand glowed in the same color as Eve. I couldn't help but notice something. When Hal pulled me away, he seemed to be mouthing something, almost like a name, but it was far from John. Bree? Boo? The pink-haired girl fell backward, letting go of her computer. Her body twitched for a moment before she sat up again. Her hair looked comical. It was poofed and frizzy, and she looked like a clown. A message formed on the screen. Nice try, hacker. What did I say about firewalls? Alice spat. This one's different, Eve argued. A cough rattled Eve. She began to heave violently and loudly. She covered her mouth with her arm, but the coughing did not subside. She tried to speak, but everything was muffled out in her attack. She used her other arm to hold her stomach as she stood. The girl walked to her black bag, picking it up. Eve, are you okay? I asked, concerned. She nodded and walked out of the room. I looked towards Hal and Alice, who seemed just as lost as I was. What was that about? I questioned. Don't look at me. She's your girlfriend, Alice snapped. Girlfriend? Are you dense? She likes you. No idea why, but whatever, Alice smirked. Well, this is new. I really don't know what to think. To be honest, I have no idea what to even do. Do I like her back? What exactly is like? I must look like a deer in the headlights. I hope you plan to marry her. After all, it's not nice to lead a girl on, warned Alice. I have literally known you people for a week. I don't even know who I am, I stated, surprised. So? Get over it, blank, Alice demanded. How? She's crazy. Tell me she's crazy, I motioned to Alice. I've learned not to pull that trigger, Hal admitted. He laid in his bed. Or do you prefer Viola? I mean, she has to be a C-cup at least, Alice sneered. What? My cheeks were an apple shade of red, glowing brighter than the moon. Oh, come on. You're telling me they're not amazing? Alice laughed. She enjoys watching me suffer. No, I mean, I wasn't... How? Help me out, I stuttered. They're pretty amazing, Hal admitted. You're gay, I whined. Doesn't change the fact that they're amazing. Why? I blurted with defeat. Eve walked back into the room with silence. She looked a little better than she had before, but something seemed off. She was no longer carrying the black bag. The pink-haired girl walked back over to her computer. Eve sat in front of the light glow of the screen. She began to type at a slower pace, as if she was careful what button she pressed. "We need more codes in order to access these files," Eve stated blankly. I knew it wasn't going to be that simple. "Hey, Eve? Click house file?" I said. Eve nodded, doing what I asked. "Access granted." "So we need the cell number to access the file," Hal pointed out. "Or the memories," I added. "I didn't remember my number until I got back my memories. Our phones were wiped clean when we showed up here," Hal explained. "Did you try calling each other?" I questioned, rather dumbly. "There's no service here," Alice barked. "Again, 1 week," I growled. "Again, idiot," Alice replied. "Hey, you guys might want to look at this," Eve shook. We looked at the screen. A missing person's image appeared with Hal's face printed on it. Next to his image appeared someone who looked similar, who I can figure was Marcus. I read the print at the bottom of the two pictures. "Last seen April 15th in Atlanta, Georgia. Any information regarding their whereabouts should call the local police station. A reward of $500 will be rewarded to anyone who holds information that would help in locating Marcus and Howard Cowell." A video appeared next to the file. Eve stopped with concern for her friend. "How?" "Play it." His voice was cold. She gulped, doing what she was told. The video buffered for a moment before playing. Is this like what he did to me? The video finally began to play, but it wasn't what I was expecting. A newscaster with fake hair and, well, fake everything, sat with a proud smile in front of the camera. Her voice was southern and clear. "In local news, after 3 months of searching, Marcus Cowell's body was found this evening outside his home. It has been released to the public that his cell phone was also found with a message 'Game Over' written across his screen. Investigators still have no leads. A message was sent in by the family stating, 'This tragedy has taken part of our family in which we can never replace. Please help our family in bringing the person who did this to justice and help reunite our family.'" Touching. A mother's love for her son. If anyone has any information concerning the whereabouts of Howard Cowell, please call the number below. The video ended, leaving us all in stunned silence. "I would like if everyone could leave," Hal whispered. "Are you sure?" Alice began. "Just go!" Hal cut her off. He doesn't seem to want us to see him like this. Hal puts up walls, and we just watch them all crumble around him. I stood, without a word, walking out of the dark room. Eve followed after me, taking her laptop with her. Alice was the last to come. She really didn't want to leave him alone. Alice huffed, storming off to her room without a word to Eve or me. I guess she puts up her own walls. "Hey, John?" Eve turned to me with a wanting expression. Do you want to help me crack this code? I mean, you're smart, and I like being with you. I don't mean with you. It's just..." "Sure." I cut her off with a smile.